Thanks, Halima, for joining us. Now, yesterday we saw heavy trade activity coming in from the stock market, and we saw market capitalization hitting an all-time high of 1.8 trillion shillings. For you, what were some of the things that led to this very heavy trade activity that we saw in the market yesterday?
Okay, thank you very much, Beatrice. Yeah, it was true that yesterday the NSE, the equity turnover rose to 1.8 trillion, but it was as a result of a spillover due to a technical hitch that was witnessed in Tuesday's trading session. So some of the trades were a spillover from the last day trading session.
And looking at today's trade, where do you expect to see some pent-up demand?
Pent-up demand, we expect to see the blue chips performing well. EABL has seen the price go up. We see Safaricom still elicits a lot of investor, mostly foreign investor interest. So we believe most of the blue chip company are going still to see the renewed interest in the counters.
I'm glad you've brought up Safaricom, because we are seeing it inching closer to an all-time high again of 9 shillings. And of course, every new date has been hitting an all-time high. And yesterday we saw it almost crossing to 8 shillings and 95 cents. For you, how do you see this trading today?
We see still Safaricom to maintain its upward momentum, because as we've seen, as from this year, we saw Safaricom release very strong numbers, and we expect to see strong growth from the company, given in that they are really very keen on growing their non-voice revenue, which is basically, we believe, in my opinion, I believe in the next revenue frontier will be from the data market. You see them rolling a lot of infrastructural expenditures and developments that are happening. You see they have rolled out the 3G, and right now they're going to roll out the 4G. So we believe this is going to portend good growth for the company.
You, what is the one key element that you'll be looking out for? You did mention SMS and data, because they're now diverting from the non-voice, they're diverting now to non-voice segment. For you, what are some of the things that you'll be very critical to look at in Safaricom, leading to top-line growth?
Yeah, top line growth, as I said, non-voice revenue, but M-Pesa is now the key revenue driver for the company. We've seen now, this year they launched Lipa na M-Pesa, which is more of a person-to-business merchandise way of paying. And you see, they have also indicated they have rolled out, and most of the they have rolled out, I mean, they have added into their distribution channels the big companies like Coca-Cola, East African Breweries Limited, whereby the distributors now are paid through M-Pesa and not cash by the dealers, and they expect to roll out to at least 100,000. They say their target is 100,000 sign-ups for this year, and that will be the key driver for the revenue.
Halima, let's now talk about the debt market, where yesterday we saw the government, the central bank, selling the 182 and 364 treasury bills, and we saw some very low demand, especially on the one-year paper. The central bank was looking to get about 3 billion shillings, and they only got nearly 500,000 on top of that. So for you, what are some of the things that are leading to the low demand that we're seeing, especially coming from a period where we had some very good demand a couple of weeks ago?
It's because, personally, I believe it's because also they have been, the equity markets tend to be a good avenue right now for people to invest, because one, we've seen the NSE really going up. Also, there was the infrastructure bond, which was just released, so probably that could have led to fewer subscriptions being led to the N91, I mean the short-term papers.
Looking at the short-term papers, we're seeing the yields continuing to edge lower, and we have the 182 coming in at about 9.9. Are we seeing it edging closer to the central bank rate, which is at 8.5? Are we likely to get to bottom up at 8.5%, which is the key lending rate of the central bank?
I believe they are just going to be held. I believe it's going to hold to the levels of the 9. But from where I read today, I believe it gained the 182 and the 364. The latest results, they were slight gains on the interest rates. So I believe also the 91 days we are going to see slight improvement in it. That is what I read today, so I don't know if it was a decline or I believe it was an increase in the interest rates.
All right, not a problem. Now, looking at East African Breweries, which has actually now doubled the prices nearly, for about 100%, 108% to be precise, in terms of their low-end products. How do you see that affecting the consumption of that particular product, and also how it's likely to also affect the company's growth?
Okay, that will be a tricky one because one keg was targeted for the lower income, the people of the lower income segment. But you've seen the price has doubled, and as a result of the excise duties that was introduced. So this we'll have to wait and see how now people will respond to this, because we believe if they respond well and still the consumption if the consumption still continues to go up, we believe it will affect the revenue positively. But it will depend with now the disposable income that is available for the people now to continue with the consumption. That will be a wait and see approach on how it will affect their EABL's revenue, taking into effect that there was a VAT, the VAT introduction that was introduced. So it will be tricky to see if people will forgo basic food consumption for liquor. So we are yet to see what will happen.